जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vishwapad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stottar Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace of Bhai Sharana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Bevdi Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho se Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Brajam Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Nadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Samavita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Paramanande all glorious assembled devotees all glorious assembled devotees all glorious assembled devotees glorious to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gaura Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we'll be discussing the conclusion of Queen Kunti's prayers. There are 4 slokas only, but at the same time they are very vital to understand, because not only she knew Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but also she was interacting. The purpose of becoming Krishna conscious is explained by Lord Krishna, because it is his desire. A father's desire is always to get his son attached to him. It is natural. This is the Supreme Father, and everyone is his children. So naturally, whether the children understand or not, he has to make all provisions by which they can come to him all the time, becoming, even sometimes in loving family, the elder sons also remain obligated to father. You know, that is the culture. It has a spiritual inheritance. So, in any relationship, you know, Lord Krishna is capable to reciprocate. A devotee, Lord Vishnu may not be able to reciprocate, but Lord Krishna is definitely. And such characteristic in the Shastra approved him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of all causes. Material world is made up of cause and effect. But in spiritual world, there is no cause. It is existing. Everyone is on the platform of ahituki apratihata bhakti. But the same quality of bhakti is being taught. In ISKCON, we are very much, concerned that bhakti and fervor just to pamper the sentiments of general public. We do not simply keep on, reciting only the incidental narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam as Bhagavad Katha for 7 days. No. Our process is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And Nityam means forever and all the times. And what entails Bhagavad Seva is to serve the sound incarnation of the Lord is Bhagavad Sevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam is sound incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna because it's spoken about him by the great authorities. And these are not ordinary authorities. They are the all hierarchical devatas. Because they are part and parcel. Part and parcel has always to be faithfully remain connected with the Supreme Whole. Not only that, but as a servant and the magnanimity of the Master and the relationship which are built in, they have to be always glorified. So, we may have different taste in a relationship, but that is also sufficient enough to be appreciated by Lord Sri Krishna. So here, in concluding prayers of Queen Kunti, we are entering into the highest unalloyed devotion to Krishna prayed for by Kunti. Generally, in material life, we have familiarity breeds contempt. Our contemptuous nature is to take it for granted, which is very cheap. It doesn't involve value system. Rather, we play around with all these esoteric truths about the Vedic culture to be, a thing of the past, has no relevance in the present day, But nonetheless, because Bhagavatam is transcendental, it penetrates all the so-called formalities and the familiarities of this modern ways. It transcends. The superior energy of Lord Krishna always remains victorious on the inferior energy of Krishna. So, how to develop the highest unalloyed devotion to Lord Shri Krishna, Queen Kunti is teaching. So, verse number 39 is that in Krishna's presence, Neyam shobhishyate tatra yathedanim gadadhara Tvatpadairankita bhati Swalakshana vilakshitai Neyam shobhishyate tatra Yathedanim gadadhara Tvatpadairankita bhati Swalakshanam vilakshitai Neyam shobhishyate tatra Yathedanim gadadhara Tvatpadairankita bhati Swalakshana vilakshitai
Nayam sobhishyate tatra Yathedanim gadadhara Tvatpadir ankita bhati Swalakshana vilakshita
Neyam shobhishyate tatra Yatedanim gadadhara Tvapaitiragita bheti Swalakshana vilakshitai
O Gadadhar Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. Prabhupada says, Kunti Devi thinks, as long as Krishna is with us, everything in our kingdom and our capital Hastinapur is beautiful. But when Krishna is absent, our kingdom will not be beautiful. She says, Krishna, you are now walking in our kingdom, and the impressions of your footprints are marking everything beautiful. There is sufficient water and fruit and everything looks beautiful. But when you leave us, it will not look beautiful. Because sa kalena mahata yoga nashta parantapa, the linking process can get lost according to the effect of time. Right? But the eternal truth or the cardinal truth of devotional service remains, even though there is total disaster. Therefore, we need to remember Lord Krishna all the time. Oh, your remembrance will not be there because your footprints will not be there. Now, the indication is that the holy name will go along even after the body is burnt or buried. It is not that this applied only when Krishna was present and Kunti was speaking. Rather, the truth is always the same. Despite the advancement of our civilization, if we cannot bring Krishna and Krishna consciousness into the center of everything, our civilization will never become beautiful. The element of love in civilization is a global vision. It is not a secular thing, or limited to a section of society who are called Vaishnavas. No. Everything is applied to all the living beings who are part and parcel of Him. And therefore, Hare Krishna, we need to take that responsibility. So, Srila Prabhupada is speaking in relationship to what Queen Kunti is teaching us, that it applies not only to Hastinapur. Actually, Hastinapur at that time was the capital of the whole world. So, a rule in Krishna consciousness all over the world would be the loving principle. If two sons of a father, if both love the father, who is the common denominator, naturally they will love each other. If fighting or understanding differently about Father's mercy, you are not limiting the love of Father, but you can appreciate at least varieties of relationship He has. That's a broader understanding. But nonetheless, loving nature to the same Father, only one Father and no others. He may be called by different names according to your relationship. You have different names. Father calls you by different name, wife calls you by different name. Because it depends upon different relationships. And we want to restrict to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that He cannot be called only that way or this way, and we keep on fighting. Natural prosperity. Ime janapadaha spraddaha. Ime janapadaha spraddaha. Supaksho ausadi viruddhaha. Supaksho ausadi viruddhaha. Vanadri nadi udanvato. Vanadri nadi udanvato. Hi edhante tava vikshitaihi. Ime janapadaha spraddaha. Supakshvau aushadi viruddhaha. Vanadri nadi udanvato. Hi edante tava vikshitaihi. Ime janapadaha spraddaha. Supakshaushadi viruddhaha. Vanadri nadi udanvato. Hi edante tava vikshitaihi.
Ime janapadaha sraviddaha.
Ime janapadaha sraviddaha.
Supakko saddi viruddhaha.
Supakko saddi viruddhaha.
Vanadri nadi udanvanto.
Vanadri nadi udanvanto.
Edhante tava vikshitaha.
Edhante tava vikshitaha.
Mothers.
Ime janapada shraddhaha.
Ime janapada shraddhaha.
Supakshavaishadi viruddhaha.
Supakshavaishadi viruddhaha.
Vanadri nadi udanvanto.
Vanadri nadi udanvanto.
Idante tava vikshitaha.
Edhante tava vikshitaha.
All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance, the trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. What will happen if we pollute all this? Krishna's glances are transcendental. But because the material nature is working under his supervision, there is a set principle that material nature will rebound like a boomerang. If we pollute, she will pollute us more. So we will never become so, knowledgeable in any pursuit. We will be baffled. And she will create obstacles after obstacles in our so-called material progress. Therefore, to take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord is the supreme occupation. Samasritaye padapallavaplavam mahat padam purna yasho murare. Bhavam buddhi vatsa padam padam yadavipadam nitisham. Can you imagine? We spoke about this in Kunti's prayer, and when she remembers that, oh my dear Lord, you always helped us in all calamities. And now you have given us the kingdom and you are going back. We can't afford that. Why? Because it's by your grace everything has been successful. Because of your will, because of your glance, everything is flourishing. When you go, you will withdraw your glance. Krishne swadhamopagate dharma jnana divisa kalau nashta drashamesha purano arko adunodita. When Krishna left, he left with his dham, gyan and dharma. Everything was gone. Because where there is Krishna, there is dharma. But when he is going away, then what will happen here? Well, kalau nashta drashamesha purano arko adunodita. Everyone in this age of Kali has lost the vision or how to realize Krishna. They have lost the vision. But nonetheless, the glories of the Supreme Personality were sung by Vyasadeva with the help of with the examples of the pure devotional service of 12 Mahajanas, which are embedded in these teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam in 12 cantos. So, the brilliant, like the sun, Srimad Bhagavatam has arisen, which is capable to give the light those who are blinded by the effect of age of Kali. So, glancing is retained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Glancing of Lord's mercy, merciful glances, they are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, and the devotees avail of this mercy without a doubt. So, he will see or she will see each and everything is connected with Krishna, and when everything is in nature flourishing, it's not for abuse, but it may be for sustenance only. And therefore, everyone can be thankful to the provider. All these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. And this is the obligatory function of those who are in power to convey, to carry forward, instead of even chara gotala, ghas ka gotala. Can you imagine? People want to eat grass and the benefit of grass. So many corrupted incidents are happening, not only in India, but all over the world. So how there will be prosperity? This kind of prosperity is just pumping air into a balloon and it will burst. Kunti Devi says, Ime janapadaha svavrittaha supakshau aushadhi viruddhaha. The grains are abundant, the trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills full of minerals, and the ocean full of wealth. What more should one want? What more? But she never mentions that the industry and slaughterhouses are flourishing, for such things are nonsense that men have developed to create problems. They are the major industries today. All of hard work and earn is tainted by the blood of cow. Whether you are pious or impious, everybody is same in Kali Yuga. No credibility. So, and it is very, very difficult, even those who are Gopaktas and to control this. This vicious cycle of so-called artificial economy, which depends upon the fossil fuel, we discussed this. Actually, it is coming from the living entities who left the bodies, whether they are trees or animals or theriac, means the birds, beasts, anything. Anything organic converted into the crude oil, and we are fighting over it. The big wars are being, going on for the so-called dead bodies, conversions into oil. We want to fight enviously with those who are living, but our enviousness is so much deep down that we want to fight with the dead. So, Prabhupada says she never mentions that industry and slaughterhouses are flourishing, for such things are nonsense that men have developed to create problems. Alright. It means because we are attached to so much ignorance of our reality, this attachment has to be cut off. Atha Vishvesha Vishvatman Vishvamurte Svakeshu Me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dradam Pandushu Vrishnishu Atha Vishvesha Vishvatman Vishvamurte Svakeshu Me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dradam Pandushu Vrishnishu
पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु
अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मन्
विश्वेश विश्वात्मन्
विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे
विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे
स्नेहपाशमिमं छिन्दे
स्नेहपाशमिमं छिन्दे
दृढं पाण्डुषु वृष्णिषु
पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु
अथ विश्वेषु विश्वात्मन्
विश्वेश विश्वात्मन्
विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे
विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे
स्नेहपाशम् इमं छिन्दि
स्नेहपाशम् इमं छिन्दि
दृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु
दृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु
अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मन्
अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मन्
विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे
विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे
स्नेहपाशम् इमं छिन्दि
स्नेहपाशम् इमं छिन्दि
दृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु
दृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु
O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my ties of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. A pure devotee of the Lord is ashamed to ask anything in self-interest from the Lord. But the householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the ties of family affection. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affectionate tie from her own kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. How can you cut off the ties with your kinsmen and still live without any disturbance with them, amongst them? She is not becoming a tyagi. Tyag means to give up and get out. It is not recommended. But vairagya is recommended. Rupa Goswami has defined, what is this? Detachment. She is talking of detachment. Attachment is coming by ignorance, and we think they are ours because we happen to be appearing in their dynasty. But in front of the Lord, even though the Lord was coming from Vrishni dynasty, and they were very good friends with Pandava dynasty. And Kunti was right in between both. She was the sister of Vasudeva, who is in Vrishni dynasty. And she became the mother of Pandu, who comes from Kuru dynasty. So naturally, from both the sides, she has affectionate ties with all her kinsmen. Alright? But for the salvation of her own soul, she surrenders to Krishna. So what is the use of such so-called affection and make it rely upon our further progress on the spiritual aspect with our kinsmen? What purpose is there? But one who remains detached in affectionate sources, they are going to bind and will not allow us to progress in spiritual life. So, as I said before, Krishna gives opportunity to everyone. that at some point, sooner or later, if we voluntarily cultivate the detachment, and as far as householder life is concerned, to remain always detached, then it won't be that difficult to sever the ties. When we say in our household life, we are supposed to cultivate, so about 30, 40 years in the household life, then we think of retirement. But we do not want to retire from the attachment. That is the greatest defect. The opportunity has come, but we want to remain like a dead bird. And attachment is like a dead burden, even at an advanced age. Therefore, nobody likes old people. They have opened up old age homes, They have done, go there, what are you doing? Come on, be productive and active, and you will find it there, not here, in his own home. And he doesn't want to leave because of a false attachment. So, but Kunti wants the liberation, so she can meditate on the Lord uninterruptedly. Otherwise, even in our early age of settlement, we'll be having the problem, and if we continue, it will be a problem towards the end also. So as long as we have our head together, in the young age, we should know and we should prepare and we should go on the idealistic life of grahastha. Grahesthira iti grahastha, but sthira on what? The aim and objective of our life, which is Krishna. Krishna affords, he can wait for some time. He is not in rush. Because in the terms of eternity, what is our lifespan? It's like Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Tala. At any time, our life can be, gone. It's like a tottering a drop of water on the lotus feet. Such tottering, as the wave comes, it is unstable and gone. It cannot remain for some time. So, this is important, that let's cultivate the consciousness centered around Krishna in all different relationships and the mellows, and become free from the false attachment. That means detachment. Kunti was not an ordinary devotee. She had become one of the relatives of Krishna, and therefore Krishna has come to offer her respects. But still she said, kindly cut off my attachment so that I may be thoroughly attached to you. This is completely evil. Krishna is offering respects to Mother Kunti because she was his aunt. Right? And she, in turn, begging Krishna to be merciful on her so he can sever the ties of affection. Why? She wants to knowingly want to become more attached to Krishna. And if she Without you, both the families are zero. I am falsely attached to these families, but my real purpose in life is to be attached to you. This is bhakti. We have to increase attachment to Lord Krishna by detaching from our material affections. Attachment will be there. And attachment should be even increased as if you are greedy. That is asakti. This is a positive attachment that is going to not only liberate us, but it is happening only after liberation. So, what a freedom and the expression of unbounded joy or love can be expressed in that condition. Otherwise, we are tied up. Oh, I have something. Oh, today I have something. Even though it is weekend, we have some other priorities than Krishna consciousness. Then it is, where is our attachment? It dictates on that basis. Even though, oh, I have desire, but I am tied up. Yes, tied up by temporary things. So, gradually we are told to, become regular, all right, take up some service on them, and attach to that. Of course, attachment to even a particular kind of service is also going to be detrimental because it's founded in a material attachment. It's founded on the material attachment. So, to attach to Lord Krishna is the real purpose of bhakti. It's not that, oh, Krishna is all attractive, that's why, I'm attached. Oh, he looks beautiful than other demigods even. Other demigods do not have such beauty. Oh, Ganesh has elephant hair. Oh, Shivaji has fearful snakes around him. They don't need your attachment. Yet you want to get attached because of some material benefit. Even then. But when it comes to Krishna, you are fearful. Why? Because he is Hari. He is going to take away your attachments. And he wants you to be fixed up with you. That is bhakti. This is the last verse, but it is the concluding verse. Tvai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate Ratin mudanvatan addam Gange vaugham mudanvati Tvai me ananya vishaya Matir madhupate sakrat Ratim mudatvata addam Gange vaugham mudanvati Tvai me ananya vishaya Matir madhupate sakrat Ratim mudanvata daddha Gange vaugham mudanvati
Tvai me ananya vishaya Matir madhupade sukrit Ratim udadhat adha Gange vaugham mudanvati
Matir madhupate sakrat
O Lord of Mathu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. Kunti Devi prays that just as the river Ganges flowed towards the sea, her attraction will flow incessantly towards Krishna's lotus feet. This is called Ananya Bhakti, unalloyed devotion. Thus Kunti Devi prays that her attraction for Krishna will flow without hindrance. Enchantment by Krishna's glories. Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhanvati Dragat Rajanya Vanshadhada Anena Pavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Hararta Avatara Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhana Vidrak Rajanya Vanshadaha Ananapavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhana Vidrak Rajanya Vanshadhana Anapavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste
Sri Krishna Krishna Sakha
Sri Krishna Krishna Sakha
Krishna Rasa Bhavani Dhaga Rajanya Vamshadhana Anapavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surati Haravatara Yogeshwara Khila Bhagavan Namaste
Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha
Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha
Vrishni Rishabhavani Durga Rajanya Vamsadahan Anapavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste
O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief amongst the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distresses of the cows and brahmanas and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers and you are in the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God and I offer you my respectful obeisances. So, in the summary of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is made herein by Srimati Kunti Devi, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, and He is ultimate goal of our life. Alright. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Whether it is material cause or spiritual cause, when we forget, we have to achieve both. And Krishna affords us to give the opportunity to get knowledgeability about the both. But we are so envious that we sacrifice the spiritual cause and entertain the material cause. Material cause entertainment brings us the reactions which are unbearable, and because they are already designed in such a way to give us proper education. Yet, we want to cling on even though they are miserable. You want to disprove Krishna. Krishna, don't worry, I like the miseries very much. Let it come, misery. Kunti Devi asked for miseries. I like miserable world. Do you? Or are you bluffing? So, Krishna exposes the fallacy of material world. It is temporary. It's a correctional unit. It has to fulfill its purpose under the supervision of the Lord. Material nature becomes victorious over those who are agya, means ignorant, fools. Kunti Devi thus reminds the Lord in this prayer that you bestow the upper varga. You are the bestower of upper, means liberation. We chose here bondage, not liberation. The choice was ours. Pavarga and apavarga. How apavarga has been manifested and pavarga has been, realized. The great thinkers, the Shastrakas, they tell us that Pavarga is composed of 5, per group, or what we call the palatal sound group. It's pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Pa means parishram, labor. For the sake of results, that is called phal, and we think it's our duty. Forget it. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So, we think it is our duty, so we need phal. But without Krishna, no. Therefore, obligation dictates bandhan. You are bound up. Without Krishna, you cannot. And we started committing mistakes right from there. Alright? Then it will be too late to even understand in the entangled way. You can't have the sigh of liberation. Because ba means bandhan, and those who are in bandhan, they cannot think because they are always fearful. Fear means bhaya. Pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Mrityu is the end of it. But here it is apavarga vartamani. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the bestower of liberation from this material entanglement. Muktim dadati ti mukunda. And he is proving himself, so the devotees get chance to realize it. That is factual. Those who are non-devotees, we don't care whether they realize later or not. But then when they come to the understanding of Vasudevam Sarvamati, then we will take care of them, not otherwise. Leave him alone. Right? So, the apavarga vartamani Shraddharati Bhakti Anukramashyati. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the personality of liberation and even love of Godhead. He is the predominant moiety. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj says, he is the predominant moiety. And everybody is subservient moiety. That are his expansion. Therefore, everything emanates from him, and we choose some out of other. The choice was either or. We chose or, not either. Instead of either, we do udhar. Krishna says, idhar aao, nahi udhar jao. So this is the point. Lord Kapila Dev is telling Devhuti. She has similar devotional character of the Devhuti. She is a similar character, similar in Kunti. Can you imagine? They became the most ideal example because of their intelligence and not for any other thing. Intelligence. And those who follow their example, they also become intelligent. They become liberated. Kapil Dev came for her salvation and he was instructing. Salvation is not a physical miracle. Salvation is a systematic untying of the misconceptions. All the misconceptions should be broken into pieces. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya Granthi, misconception, they are tightly bound up in our heart. So, the power of Lord Krishna or the mercy of Lord Krishna that gives salvation must be, giving all the confirmation face to face to such devotees. So when Kapil Dev was instructing, he said, same qualitativeness of the spirituality of the personality as well as his instructions. There is no difference between them. He told that satam prasangam mama virya samvida bhavanti rad karana rasayana katha. In the association of the devotees, where Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya is going on, this katha is so potent that it has invested all the potency within it. But we have to properly receive it through the ear and in the heart. and touch our heart. Then Tajjoshanavam apavarga vartamani. This strength of the Lord or the potency of the Lord through the proper hearing and chanting about His glories, which creates the mellows of rasas to be flowing from ear and heart. It creates, first of all, dissipating the ignorance, then brings us face to face to the reality through the development of the proper convicted faith, then attraction to the system or the process of bhakti, and finally fructification of bhakti, anukramashati. But the first lot, before we develop proper attitude towards the faith, proper attitude to the faith, liberation has to come forward. Tajjoshanavam apavarga vartamani, he says. Apavarga and pavarga. We saw the pavarga. Apavarga means completely opposite to pavarga. It is a different direction. That is, one direction is of bondage into repeated birth and death simply by cultivation of ignorance. The other is cultivation of knowledge that liberates us from the clutches of Maya. Papababama. That is called apavarga. One that liberates from pavarga is called apavarga. A means not. This is not the path of bondage into. So, where requisite faith, a confirmed faith, which is pure, unobstructing, that will develop for the love of Godhead only. And then rati means attraction will happen, and bhakti. Anukramashyate, one by one. One who does not follow the cardinal principles of the system, they want to jump up like monkeys. They become monkeys. बहुत सारे monkey हैं वृंदावन में. So in this way, we see Queen Kunti has been reiterating all different mellows that are simultaneously present in the embodiment of Lord Krishna. Kunti addresses Lord Krishna as Krishna Sakha because she knows that although Arjun, who is also known as Krishna, is her son and therefore subordinate to her. Kunti knows that although Arjun, who is also known as Krishna, is her son and therefore subordinate to her, Lord Krishna is more intimately related with Arjun than with her, because that relationship is there. Krishna, Krishna Sakha. Who is Krishna Sakha? Is Arjun. But who is Arjun? He is Krishna. Isn't it in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vrishninam, what is that? Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. I am Dhananjaya amongst the Pandavas. So, Krishna and Krishna Sakha, Krishna and Arjun. But Arjun is also Krishna. Because Krishna's Queen Kunti. She was not present when the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, but the cardinal truth was available to her simply by pure devotional service. So, Krishna, she was thinking that even though Arjun was her son, but he was more intimate in loving relationship with Lord Krishna than her. So therefore, she wanted to relieve herself from unnecessary ties. In materialistic life, when philosophers think about the children as compared to their parents, they may say materially, oh, you have to respect your father and mother because they are elder and they are more experienced than you and they will guide you properly in this and that, right? But a devotee father has a completely opposite view. Many parents are drawn to Krishna because of their children. Second thing is that even in philosophical subject matter, when they see the potency in a child, this child is the father of mankind. So parents cannot remain puffed up in simply ignorant ways, and stunt the actual growth of their children. At this young age, you're chanting Hare Krishna. What's wrong with you? You are putting us to shame. Yes, because you are not chanting, you are creating your own shame. Why do you blame me? Right? Because of attachment. It's wrongly placed. Krishna is also a name of Draupadi. That is called Krishna. And so the word Krishna Sakha also indicates Lord Krishna's relationship with Draupadi. Krishna's Sakha means not only Arjun's Sakha but also Draupadi's Sakha, friend. Whom he saved from being insulted when Duryodhana and Karna attempted to strip her naked. Kunti also addresses Lord Krishna as the Vrishni Rishabha, the child of the dynasty of Vrishni. Rishabh means the best, the most potent. Kunti Devi also addresses Lord Krishna as the destroyer of political parties or royal dynasties that disturb the earth. The multiple personality syndrome, what they call it. And even in material world, even though we have multiple personalities, as I described, that we have different relationship with different people within the same household, different living entities. But at the same time, when a person psychologically, deranged, he had multiple personality syndrome also. Like the one who is possessed, he behaves differently during day and during night differently. He thinks he's multiple. He's this also and he's that also, and he's so much confused. He can't think straight. And what do we call? Possessed. Possessed. He has so weak mind that other dissatisfied souls with still in mind, intelligence and ego surrounding, they occupy. They occupy the place. So, but Krishna's multiple personality is enormous. You can't calculate. He is related to each and every soul that has been separated from him. And they are only few in number, those who have separated. Because eternally liberated part and parcels of him are ever serving him in loving services in Guru Vrindavan. And we think here, oh, population explosion, let's kill them. Rohingyas. Nobody wants that. Kunti Devi addresses Krishna as Govinda because he is the giver of pleasure both to the cows and to the senses. Go means senses. When Kunti prays, Go Dvijas Surarti Haravatar. Surarti, when the miseries of the demigods are being, sold by different incarnations. So she indicates that Govinda Krishna descends to this world especially to protect cows, the brahmanas and the devotees. Queen Kunti prayed to the Lord just to enunciate a fragment of his glories. The Lord, upon hearing her prayers, which were composed in choice words for his glorification, responded by smiling, and his smile was as enchanting as his mystic power. This is how Krishna responded, Queen Kunti. No amount of chosen words are sufficient to enumerate the Lord's glory. Yet he is satisfied by such prayers, just as a father is satisfied even by broken linguistic attempts of a growing child. Thus the Lord smiled and accepted the prayers of Queen Kunti. Okay, here comes the homework. What is the healthy renunciation that appears simultaneously with attraction to Krishna? Don't say, I can give up job. That is not healthy.
That appears simultaneously with Krishna's attraction.
You don't love the bodies falsely. The bodily conception of life is gone. You will respect the bodies as the vehicle to convey the Krishna consciousness. That's another thing. But you don't misuse the bodies. So, healthy renunciation means keep the body starved but in service of Krishna. Always engage yourself and any activity that you perform but centered Krishna. That is a natural renunciation. You are renouncing sense gratification. That is easy. When you grow in Krishna consciousness, it comes on the way. It's not that, you have to follow 4 regulatory principles, you have to do this. No, it will naturally come. When you invest Krishna consciousness, then everything becomes perfect because it is connecting with Krishna who is all perfect. Alright, anybody has any question or comments?
Raj, the other day you spoke about the 7 qualities that women have.
Tell me again.
Raj, you spoke about the 7 qualities
Of women?
have. Yeah.
Maharaj, that was,
Please, give me Bhagavad Gita.
Maharaj, that was the first session and was loved by all the Matajis.
I encourage them, empower them. But you should have referred to Bhagavad Gita. Alright? Here we go.
Especially when you said Maharaj, and men is going to give him money.
Alright. Kirti.
Yes, Maharaj.
Did I call you? Wrong number. But you can take that quality. It's all yours.
Yeah. The number, which number I'm looking for? Which one?
10.34. All right. Too small. Prince. All right. Mrityu sarvaharaschaham.
Mrityu sarvaharaschaham.
Udbhavascha bhavishyatam.
Udbhavascha bhavishyatam.
Kirti Shrivakcha Narinam.
Kirti Shrivakcha Narinam.
Smritir Medha Dhritikshama.
Smritir Medha Dhritikshama.
I am the all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that yet to be. Amongst women I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Are you patient?
Prabhuji's feel this, Maharaj, Prabhuji's feel this is biased.
Of course. Keep some distance, will you? Because there is difference, and they should not go artificially for women's life. It's favorable for you. They do not compete with you, do they? That is the sanskar. It's beneficial for you, not for them. Or they have to utilize in order to promote Krishna. And mostly only the women are, substantial strength behind a religious organization. They work more hard than me. What do you say?
Yes.
See?
The wives are here, Maharaj.
No one can say because your wife is not
That's
here.
It's all getting recorded.
He told the truth.
Video recording.
Yes, he told the truth.
And it's Facebook Live as well.
So, regardless, there is glory, but it has to be utilized in Krishna consciousness because it is Krishna's manifestation. So, such things are not to be abused or misused for equality rights or, this is more than equality. Taji, don't be miser. Good? Can you compete with that? No. Encourage your wife and she will be very happy and keep all the hands on you just to you know, because you promote, you empower, you tell Krishna is empowering. Paurusam Drushu against 7. 1 against 7. Can you imagine? And yet there is discrimination against them. It is because of shortcoming. People do not understand that this is such divine qualities are invested in them, and yet they cannot, act. It is simply somewhere the misunderstanding or misinformation or so-called social traditions. They become obstacle in promotions and put them right place where they belong. They think they are supposed to be dumped in the house. What will be the opportunity to expose all these 7 qualities for the benefit of mankind? Can they do this while remaining simply in the confinement of 4 walls? No. This is where the equal rights for the spiritual upbringing. And they surrender faster than men. Dependency is a natural gift for them, and it can't be artificially puffed up. Oh, look at that. I can become independent on my own money and I can shut him up and this and that. These are all envious natures. In Krishna consciousness, we do not entertain those kind of ideas, because whatever is conducive to Krishna consciousness, we take it. What is not conducive, we reject it. So, all these 7 features can be used to surrender to Krishna faster.
Maharaj, somewhere in Bhagavad Gita it was mentioned women are less intelligent. ignorant mind.
Yes.
It is contradictory. So please elaborate, Maharaj.
Not contradictory. Less intelligence as far as their salvation is concerned, because the attachment makes them less intelligent. Dependent nature makes you attach more with the material nature. So therefore, it is to be protected so they can be liberated faster. So that provision is there. Children's intelligence, women's intelligence, okay? But as far as Krishna consciousness is concerned, they are easily accepting it. And man has a hard knot of ego which will not be ready to accept immediately. So who is more into it? But because it's not that they do not have opportunities to, but they can be using all the skills of the 7 virtues to promote their development to Krishna. even though remaining in the household. But the benefit should go to worldwide. Why only a husband has to be benefited? And who is agnostic? He may not easily surrender to Krishna. Is a difficult man, even materially. But you can see the forbearance. And I give the example, Prabhupada had a disciple in Delhi, and she was beaten up one time by her husband, and she came in a very pathetic condition, and Prabhupada was there. Prabhupada, please give me shelter in the temple. Prabhupada said, no. You belong with your husband. You go there. You have all these divine qualities. And forbearance is there. Kshama is there. Use in service of Krishna and your husband will be melted. He was a drunkard. The bad habits made him, such a violent person. But at the same time, over the time, it's only forbearance and you can endure. It's not that it's injustice. Prabhupada advised her that you are endowed with all these good qualities, can win over the bad quality of your husband. Isn't it good advice to send her back? Otherwise, protection in the temple is not a place for physical protection. Husband is the place for physical protection, or the son is, or the father in any stage. Otherwise, who is going to abuse all the 7 good qualities? Man. So if she is not protected, somebody will misuse it. So it is well-defined functions that way. It's not discriminatory. Any other question? Yes?
Maharaj, yesterday you talked about how Yudhishthira actually went to see Yamaraj. Now, Duryodhana had doubts about that visit. Now, given that Duryodhana died on the battlefield because he faced, and I think Amrish Prabhu talked about this in the Bhakti Shastri, he would actually go to heaven. But what was the one thing that Yudhishthira did wrong, and Duryodhana did so many wrong things, and he was, he had gone to heaven, whereas Yudhishthira, just because of one mistake.
No. For good work, good promotion is there. Bad work, you have to pay. Alright? But the choice is yours, which one to enjoy first. You want to enjoy the good works result first, but when Yudhishthira came and he was laughing, and he commented, "Oh, my dear brother, what happened to you? You spoke all the truth all of your life and only once you spoke lie." I said, "Yes, I have to face, but at the same time, you know that Yamaraj was my father. I went to just hug him and came back. But I heard that they are waiting for you." As soon as Kshine Punya Martya Loke Vishanti, as soon as the past credits are finished, that is the reminder, you paid off. So, good karma, good result, bad karma, bad results, that's common, but you have to enjoy both. But a devotee tolerates both. Both of good and bad. We have to learn the art of tolerating both, not only one. We choose to tolerate only the bad, but enjoy means enjoy. But where is that proclivity came? It is ingrained because element of anand is there. We want to squeeze anand through sense gratification. That is not anand. Actually, it is the breeding ground of miseries. So we are getting befooled there. Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavanta kaunte natera mateshu vada. Because they are of beginning and ending nature, therefore the intelligent people do not dwell into that object of sense gratification. This is where taboo came. Become intelligent. If you follow for regulative principles, would you remain dull? No. Then why do you simply care for lasun pyaj? No. It is important that the source of so-called happiness through sensory perceptions, they are the breeding grounds for miseries. The same source, we think it is for happiness, but it is for miseries. Can you identify anything in our life? Huh? Yeah, but the source of enjoyment are actually the source of miseries. Source of enjoyment are the source of misery. Tell your tongue. Tara madhye jivayati lobhamaya sudurmati take jeta kathina sansare Krishna vada dayamaya tarivare jivaya. We have to cross over this attachment of the tongue. Therefore you have given prasadam. Swaprasadam dilapai. Just to conquer our so-called the taste of the tongue and happiness through eating. He gave us prasadam. And we love to eat prasadam because at least we will not eat the garbage. Otherwise it will create so much misery. Why do we love garbage anyway? The packet foods, ready-made.
Even why it's called junk food.
Taste. Lobhamaya. Onion, garlic create lobhamaya. See the ingredients and we have difficult time, right? Oh, everything has onion and garlic. Because they taste better than plain sea salt. Right? Like that. So, to control the tongue, prasad is the best source. It doesn't deprive you. And you can write unlimited recipes. You can manufacture recipes by your fertile brain just to tease your tongue. But offer it to Krishna, so your mentality will be changed. That's how. Anything else? No?
Why Pandavas are not liberated?
Who said that?
But they go to heaven, right?
So,
Says that they walk to heaven.
Are Baba, they came from heaven, they have to go back to heaven. Come on, they took a leave to play with Krishna. Right? Even Bhishma Pitama, who was a Vasu, they were all under the service of 400 Vishnu. So when they go back, would they not continue the services? Janmani Janmanishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rahetu Kitve. Means that devotional services continued and they are pure devotees. Therefore, they took part to show the pure devotion. Mridang is getting ready. Okay.
At least 2 people have it. Every 2 people have it.
Please try to sing along. So those who are able to sing along, they should share it. Yeah. Only 2? Huh? Okay. So they will... You have to sing bhajans, okay?
So first one is on page number 8.
Sharadi, come here. This pain
Ready?
Bhajahum re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare Bhajahum re mana Shri Nandanandana Bhajahum re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare Bhajahum re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Durlabha manava janama satsange Durlabha manava janama satsange Durlabha manava janama satsange Durlabha manava janama satsange Tarahare Sindhure Tarahare Bhava Sindhure Bhajahum re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare Bhajahum re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare Shita Tapa Bhatava परीशन जे दिन जामिनी जागिरे शीत आतप बात बरीशन जे दिन जामिनी जागिरे विफल सेविनो कृपण दुर्जन विफल सेविनो कृपण दुर्जन चपल सुख लव लागी रे चपल सुख लव लागी रे भजहूँ रे मन श्री नंद नंदन अभय चरणर विंद रे ये धन यौवन पुत्र परिजन ये धन यौवन पुत्र परिजन इथे किया छे पर तेरे इथे किया छे पर तेरे कमल दल जल जीवन तलमल कमल दल जल जीवन तलमल भजहूँ हरि पद नीति रे भजहूँ हरि पद नीति रे भजहूँ हरि पद नीति रे भजहूँ हरि पद नीति भजहूँ रे मन श्री नंद नंदन अभय चरण रविंद रे भजहूँ रे मन श्री नंद नंदन अभय चरण रविंद रे श्रवणन कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दास्य रे पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन गोविंद दास विलास गोविंद दास विलास रे भजहु रे मन श्री नंदनंदन भज चरण रविंद रे भजहु रे मन श्री नंदनंदन भज चरण रविंद रे दुर्लभ माधव जन्म सत्संगे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे कर हरे भव सिंधु रे कर हरे भव सिंधु रे अभय चरण रविंद रे अभय चरण रविंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Who can read the translation?
O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over the ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons.
Both in the day and at night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men.
What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari.
It is the desire and great longing of Govinda Das to engage himself in the 9 processes of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense, and so forth, serving him as a friend and completely offering the Lord one's very self.
Page number 22. Now we have 2 groups. The Matajis and Prabhuji. When it comes to Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe, Shri Jai Radhe, then all the Matajis have to sing. But what about Radharani? Description is there. You can respond together. But when it comes to Lord Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, then all the Prabhujis will sing. In this way, 2 separate are there. The first verse is introductory, and it may be a little difficult for everybody to repeat, but then we start with the Jai Radhe, then we pick up, alright, according to male and female chorus. नव नव रंगी नवल त्रिभंगी जय श्यामा सुश्रीरंगी श्यामा नवल त्रिभंगी जय श्यामा जय राधे जय हरि प्रिय श्री राधे जय सुखधामा जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा श्याम गौरी नित्य किशोरी शीतम जोरी श्री राधे श्याम गौरी नित्य किशोरी शीतम जोरी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे रसिक रसीलो खेल छबीलो गुण गर्भीलो श्री कृष्णा रसिक रसीलो खेल छबीलो गुण गर्भीलो श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्याम गौरी रस विहारिणी रस विस्तारिणी प्रियव्रतारिणी श्री राधे नव नव रंगी नवल त्रिभंगी श्याम सुरंगी श्री कृष्णा नव नव रंगी नवल त्रिभंगी श्याम सुरंगी जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा प्राण प्यारी रूप चारी अति सुकुमारी श्री राधे प्राण प्यारी रूप चारी अति सुकुमारी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे मैन मनोहर महामोद कर सुंदर बर जर श्री कृष्णा कामिनी कंता श्री भगवंता श्री कृष्णा कीर्तिवंता कामिनी कंता श्री भगवंता श्री कृष्णा कीर्तिवंता कामिनी कंता श्री भगवंता श्री कृष्णा कीर्तिवंता कामिनी कंता श्री भगवंता श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चंद्रवदनी कुंदरदनी शोभा सदनी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे परम उदारा प्रभा पार अति सुकुमार श्री कृष्ण परम उदारा प्रभा परम उदारा प्रभा अपार अति सुकुमार श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण हंसगमनी रजत रवणी क्रीडा करनी श्री राधे हंसगवनी रजत रवणी क्रीडा कवनी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे रूप रसाला नयन विशाला परम कृपाला श्री कृष्णा रूप रसाला नयन विशाला परम कृपाला श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्णा जय कृष्णा कंचन बेली अति रसरेली अति बेली श्री राधे कंचन बेली रति रसरेली अति बेली श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे सब सुख सागर सब गुण आगर रूप उजागर श्री कृष्णा सब सुख सागर सब गुण आगर रूप उजागर श्री कृष्णा जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण रवनि रम्या तर तर तम्या गुण अगम्या श्री राधे रवनि रम्या तर तर तम्या गुण अगम्या श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे धाम निवासी प्रभा प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्णा धाम निवासी प्रभा प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्णा विलासी प्रभा प्रकाशी सहज सुहासी श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण सत्यलागिनी अति प्रियवादिनी उर्वनमादिनी श्री राधे 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 जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे अंग अंग टोना करस सलोना सुबल सुखोना श्री कृष्ण अंग अंग टोना करस सलोना सुबल सुखोना श्री कृष्ण अंग अंग टोना सरस सलोना सुबल सुखोना श्री कृष्ण अंग अंग टोना सरस सलोना सुबल सुखोना श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामिनी हरि प्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामिनी हरि प्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामिनी हरि प्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे राधा नामिनी गुण अभिरामिनी हरि प्रिय स्वामिनी श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्ण हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्ण हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्ण हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि हरे हरे हरि श्री कृष्ण जय कृष्ण Jai Krishna Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Sri Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Krishna Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Sri Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Krishna Krishna Jai Krishna Jai Sri Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol His Divine Grace Srila Bhacharana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Jai Gaur Pramanande. All glories to Samruddhi. All glories to Samruddhi. All glories to Samruddhi. Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.